Okay. Well, first of all, hello everyone. My name is Tony Tiernan, Acumatica Sales and Acumatica Customer Success here at NexLAN. First, I want to thank you all for coming out today for our webinar. On Acumatica features you haven't even imagined yet. We've got a good list of features and benefits here to show you today. So I know you guys are all busy. I appreciate you guys showing up. I think you'll be really happy to see what Acumatica brings to the table and how it can benefit your business. So today's agenda, we're going to go through a little bit, just real quick, about what we call here at NexLAN Acumatica's 7 ilities, really good key features or key points of Acumatica that they bring to the table. And we'll just take a quick roll through those. And then we're going to get into the features, the reason that you guys showed up today. So I've got a short list here of just some of the key ones that we're going to take a look at and go through. There will be more, but this is the really key points, I think, key features that stand out. So we'll go through those. And then after that, we'll have questions, answer those questions that you guys might have. Feel free at any point you guys have questions to present those in the chat. We'll try to answer those during, if we can. If not, we'll definitely get to those at the end. And if we happen to run out of time and we can't answer all of those questions, we will definitely be getting back to you in the next day or two to get those answered. So, excuse me, hopefully we can get those answered today, but there might be a chance some of these questions might be a little more detailed that they just need a little more attention and information that we might have time for. So feel free, like I said, any questions you might have, throw in there in the chat and we'll get those taken care of. So let's go to our 7 ilities. Here at NexLAN, we came up with our Acumatica 7 ilities, and we even have a couple extra here today. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but there is a couple that I'd really like to point out that we believe are really, really beneficial and positive to anybody looking at Acumatica. One is flexibility. You've been around NexLAN quite a bit. You've heard us say flexibility. That's the key ingredient to what we do. And so, Acumatica's flexibility is really, really shown throughout the entire system of what it allows you to do, allows users to configure to a personalization standpoint, and just as a company as a whole, be able to give you the flexibility to make the system fit you and not the business have to fit to the system. So those are hugely beneficial areas that Acumatica really excels in. Another area is the extensibility. And as you can see here, we've got listed, Acumatica's ecosystem has well over 200 ISV products. And so while Acumatica is extremely powerful out of the box and it has great potential, there's always pieces of every business that are a little different, and nothing out of the box is going to solve every issue or every problem that you might have or business aspect. And so Acumatica really has the ability with its ecosystem, ISVs and things that are built directly into the program, and so that we can keep things under one hood and have one central space of truth instead of having 4 separate programs that we might have disconnects and things like that. So Acumatica really excels in the extensibility department, being able to provide many, many options to benefit your business in its own personalized path that you have. The last thing I'm going to hit here is portability. NexLAN has ability to port your data from AccountMate into Acumatica. We are the best there is out there in that. We are the most efficient. We have that path down, and that's always a huge, huge plus of being able to get your data from one system into a new system and keep as much of that as you can intact and give you all that information that you need. So as you can see here, there's more than these 3, but those are the 3 that are really, really most important that we'd like to point out, that we see time and time again. So with that, let's get into the features. So here is Acumatica. And the first thing we're going to go through is dashboards. So as you can see here, we've got the AR clerk dashboard. Now, Acumatica stock out of the box comes with dozens of pre-built dashboards just like this. As you can see, we've got many different widgets here. We've got pie charts, graphs, just regular widgets. All of these widgets are interactive. So they're not just here to tell you, hey, there's one unreleased document in prior months. Everything here is interactive and can take you into detailed information as you go. As you can see here, I'm hovering over this and I'm getting information right there at my fingertips, and I can click on that and get drilled down, take me to that direct data that I'm looking to see at. So we have all of this stuff pre-built at great length, but that doesn't mean that that's what we're constrained at. So while we have all these great widgets pre-built, again, we might want to see something in a different avenue, a different look. Acumatica's flexibility is very unique and greatly seen here, where we can configure these widgets to see exactly what we want and when we want to see it. So what we're going to show a lot of today, and this will be a repeated theme here, is things that directly benefit you as a business to do yourself and have the ease of users to do without calling NexLAN. And calling NexLAN and having us build stuff, that costs. And this keeps money in your pocket. So you'll see this theme throughout this hour. So when it comes to widgets here and dashboards, if we go here and we click the design button, now we can see where all of these widgets are easily editable. We scroll down here, we can create new widgets. We can copy and paste and then enhance a widget. And so let's do that real quick. So I like this AR overdue widget right here. So I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to, as you can see, this now highlighted, which it wasn't highlighted before. And I'm going to paste that from the clipboard. So in AR, one of the big things we always need to keep track of is overdue. So if I know maybe per se that I have a customer that maybe gets a little overdue from time to time, and we want to keep track of that specifically. We don't want to lose the overall visibility, but we want to be able to track that one and see that one up front, just to make sure that we're not getting things out of hand. So I just copied that widget, I pasted it, created another one, and now I'm going to edit this. So now we get into the design mode with that widget. And as you can see, got some key information here of what inquiry screen we're using. We've got different filter settings. As you can see, we've got refresh data. We've got options for that. All of these can be or are refreshed on a schedule, but they can all be manually refreshed at any point in time as well. We've got our fields that we were aggregating. We've got our color charts here. As you've seen through the other widgets, we've got green and red, but we can set warning levels, normal, and alarms so that you can just graze at a widget and you can say, hey, oh, this needs attention, or oh, this is okay. So for this right here, we're going to filter this one down a little bit into a customer that I know gets a little out of hand sometimes and gets a little behind, and we want to focus on that one. So real quick, we're just going to add a row here, and we're going to change or select our customer ID, and then our value here, we're going to look for, it's right here first, and we're going to hit OK. And the caption, we're going to change this so we don't get confused. We're going to change this to AR overdue Alt Ace. So we know this one is specific to this customer. And we're going to hit finish. And quickly you can see, all we have to do is click design again, and we get out of design mode and everything comes back to full life. And as you can see, we can now see that the AR overdue for Alt Ace is just a little over 6K. And again, we can click on this widget and it's going to drill me down into the customer summary for that, which then I can drill down even further as if I like to. So As you can see, that didn't take very long at all. Took me a little longer just explaining it, but to get through it, very easy, very user-friendly to be able to edit, create, manipulate, configure widgets as we go here. So again, we have dozens of dashboards already created. We can configure the system to, if we need, we have users that see multiple areas of the system. You can easily create a new dashboard that combines many areas. So we can take these widgets that are pre-built and we can add them to a shipping clerk, dashboard. We can combine the two and easily make that into one. And again, make it personalized to the user to help them do their job on a daily basis more efficient. So another dashboard I'd like to show real quick is we've got the sales order status dashboard. And so we've got open and completed sales orders. And so we can easily go into from here. Oh, I want to look at see this one's still open. We can click on that and it takes us directly to that sales order. And we can review from there as needed what we came to look at. That quick, that easy, all that information is right there in front of us at our disposal. So again, dashboards are extremely beneficial in many areas. We have that data up front, but in Acumatica, they're very configurable, personalized to each user. We don't have to set a dashboard to where the same dashboard is seen for all users within the system. We can make that personalized to each individual to help them see the information that they need to see to do their job. So, okay. Moving on, we're going to go to universal search. So in Acumatica, the search bar up here is a universal search of the system. So an account mate will say, we're used to having to go to select a module and then a transaction or reports. In Acumatica, the system is open and we can go directly where we want to go from point A to point D as quickly as possible. Saves time, makes more efficient, and we just speed up and see what we need to see. So 1099s are a very common thing. So let's just type in 1099 and see what we get here. So when you use the universal search, as you can see here, we have 4 different headers. We've got menu items. So anything related to a 1099, the menu items come up and we can see that and we can just easily go to it. Transactions and profiles. If there's anything with transactions of any type with the 1099 involved in there, as you can see, we've got AP bills, we've got invoices, we've got shipments. Anything that has that references that number will come up. We also have the help topics, which will come up with depending on what you're talking about. Again, Acumatica is smart enough to figure out what you're implying and what you're looking for. So we have some suggestions here for looking for help topics in 1099 vendor histories, filing 1099s, all of that good stuff. Files. If we've got anything related to 1099 with files, then that comes up here as well. This one does not, so we just don't see that. But if we also want to look through the system, let's say we had an AP bill, we remember the number. So let's try this one of 002422. And this is an item or transaction that won't have any menu items, and that's fine. We understand that. The transactions and profiles. So that number brings up various topics here. We've got SO invoice. We've got an AP payment, shipments, AP bills. Again, anything that's related to that number or whatever we put in here, the system's going to go through universally and pull those informations and transactions or whatever it may be and show it to you right here at your fingertips, and you can get there as soon as possible. This one has a file attached to it, so we've got a PNG here of a bill. So we can just click on this. And now we can say, I want to see that and see what that bill was. I can hit view selected version and we download this. Bring this over. And now I can see exactly what that purchase order was, all the details right in front of me. So it was that quick. So the universal search really is a great tool to get where you need to be faster. We always also have the option of going through our workflows over here and different items, but the universal search is a hugely beneficial tool that we've seen time and time again our users really use and really benefit from. So moving on, let's go to reporting and show you some key features of the reporting side of things. So let's get here and go to our AR register report. And so this is a very big topic that I love to really share because coming from AccountMate, we've always had a lot of users that have wanted to see many different areas in the reporting section, either adding sorts, adding filters, changing some data and things like that. And whenever that came up, you guys had to contact NexLAN and we had to do that and pay for that. So Acumatica and its flexibility here it really shines. And so a lot of the stuff that we've seen in the AccountMate side, you now have the power as users. Obviously, in any of these discussions that we have, all of these are restricted per Acumatica access rights and things like that. So you can assign roles to people that you want to do on the reporting side and they can change things. But you have that flexibility for your users at your fingertips. And so what I want to show you here is right now we've got this AR register report, and we're going to run this through the 24th. And as you can see, we have some parameters listed out here. We can choose to use them, all of that kind of good stuff. So let's run this report and you can see how it comes up. So now we've got the basic report that we've got. We ran it for our dates, all of that good stuff. Okay, well, now I'd like to change some stuff. So Kevin, whoever's sitting here, is like, I would like to maybe change some sorts or some filters and select this down into some different criteria to help what I need to see. I don't need to see all that. So very easy to do. So here on the additional sort and filters tab, we have some stock sorts that came with this report out of the box, and that's fine. But we don't want to use those. So we can just clear those out. And for the sorts, I want to sort this by customer. So here, sending. So I can make that quick change. I can rerun the report. And now I have this sorted by customer name. It was that simple. It took seconds to do. So, well, now, you know what? I'd also like to look at this as filter this down to certain criteria. Okay. So all I'm doing is clicking through screens that are very user-friendly, as you can see, and give me access to all the information that's already built with that report to go through. So I want to look for a certain customer here. Customer, and that customer is, I can search through here through the search bar, or I could have went through our grid, but real quick here we have that. And I can now run the report and see just what I filtered through on our AR register report. So this functionality runs through the entire Acumatica system. And so again, you've seen how quickly this was done. This is flexible for you guys to do when you need it. And say we have this report and we're going to use this filter or these sorts, however we have this configured, quite often. So and we'd like to save this report. So what we have up here is templates, which we can save this template. And I'll just put this in as next little testing. Okay. And now I have that as an option. So I can run the report as the stock, or I can run it as the Nixle testing that I just did. You can have numerous templates. That's easy. As you see up here, we also have the schedule template. You can create these reports with the different criteria that you want, and you can schedule these to be emailed to yourselves or other various people within your organization. We see this quite often with current users where they need certain reports with certain criteria, and they've built these filters and sorts out. They've saved them as templates, and then they just scheduled the system. They configured it to send out, hey, this report once a month on the first of the month, this report every Friday, and it's that simple. So great in-depth functionality here that is user-friendly to do and at your fingertips. Again, out of the box stock Acumatica here. We're not doing anything that we've customized or added to the program. This is out of the box stock Acumatica. Okay. So now I'd like to show you some inquiry screens. And in Acumatica, Acumatica is really run off of generic inquiries, which are essentially just SQL statements, and that's how Acumatica selects that, builds that, and selects it, and pulls in the data. So inquiry screens you're going to see these throughout. Memos are a gathering of all that data. So here we're in the AR invoice and memo screen, or generic inquiry, I should say, where we have a list of all of our invoices. So in here, as you can see, all of these columns, if we hover over and we click, all of them are functional to where we can sort, we can search by, and all of this we can clear, we can check on what we want to see if we just want to see pending processes or open, and it's quickly filtered out by those. So all of our columns here are configurable to see, sort, and select by. Another great feature to this is, as you can see, we've got more columns than we can fit on the screen. And so if we scroll to the right, there might be things on this grid that we need to see that are really pertinent to our job on a day-to-day basis. And that could be me, Tony thing needs to see different than what Kevin needs to see. And Steve needs to see something that's different than what Don needs to see. And that's perfectly fine. Everybody has their role in the business and what they need to see to make them do their job more efficient. So one of the great tools here that I always try to promote to people that they do like and use that we've noticed is if you've got columns over here on the right that don't come up when we first load this screen, and say we need to see, where do we cut off here? So if we need to see this total amount field, that's something that we need to see. We know we need to see every time we bring this screen up. We can just click and we can drag this over. And now that is going to sit there and stay there for whenever we load that screen. And that is only shown to the person that did it. So me, Tony, I've made this change on this screen for me. This saves under my profile, my user identity, essentially. And it doesn't mean that Steve and Dawn have to see that in that same order. So this is really personalized to each user to benefit them. So we can filter down this data, as I mentioned, down here in the status. I clicked that and I filtered and I only want to see the pending and the open. We can see everything, and we can do that on a column by column basis, or you can easily just go up here as well into the filter settings, and we can add just like we would anywhere else, and add our filters here. And as you see, we've got some shortcuts that are variables that can withstand throughout every day that you log in. At today, it's just picking up that variable and reusing it. It's not a hard-coded date. Quarter end. All of these key features are here for you to use and set this up to your liking. Once we create those configurations, we do also have a save option, which sorry, I should have finished that. If I wanted to see due dates, and I wanted to go is greater than, period start, apply. I can save this configuration that I have. Now, again, this is going to come back to where this is only going to show for me, Tony, because that's what I've saved, my personal. But I can also use this checkbox to share this configuration for everybody else. So they would also, as you see, I've saved that. Now I have a separate tab. So I have the all records tab that shows everything or what I have filtered out if I did anything there. But then I also have that saved configuration to see the data that I would like to see commonly, more than likely every day, whatever it is that I need to do to do my job efficiently. So you can share that configuration, you can save it to me, whatever works for your business. Again, it took me minutes to set this up and roll through, very user-friendly to do so. And if I ever want to get rid of this, then all I have to do is just remove, apply, and it's gone. It's that simple. So again, back to the same common theme that we're going to see throughout this entire hour is this is extremely user-friendly and it's personalized to each user so that they can get the system configured to their needs to do their job as efficiently as they can. All right. So let's now jump to sales order anomaly. And this is a feature that has just come out in 24R2. And so we've seen a lot of good things with this. There's a lot of areas in the system that this can work for. And again, this comes back to generic inquiries and how the data is being gathered in Acumatica. So I'm going to bring up a couple of generic inquiries here and show you how this works. Now, we call this the sales order anomaly feature, but the anomaly detection tool in general is really able to be used through almost every generic inquiry that the system has. And so let me bring up a couple that we have got set up and ready to roll here. Let's do the sales. Right today. So when we bring these generic inquiries up, as you can see, we have a new option here in 24R2, which is detect anomalies. And that is not the one that I want. Here we go. So again, 24R2 new release. So we have a new option here. We want to detect anomalies. And so when we select this, now we'll have a new tab open up where we can define the anomaly detection that we want it to look for. So for this, being sales profitability analysis, we're going to look at the margin. Now we have other options. We have, you can see cost, margin, item class, but we're going to do the margin percentage. And then we're going to base that off of the date. And as you can see, we can group here, we can do different things there. The update frequency, we can have this scheduled where the system will just do it every daily or weekly or monthly. And then we go into that generic inquiry. We can then view those and see if there's any anomalies that were detected. And if there are, we can grid down and see those specifically based off of their severity level. So we're going to leave this on demand right now so we can do this manually. So let's view our inquiry. So our sales profitability analysis. As you can see, we have some color, excuse me, we have it color coded. We have already ran through the detect anomaly stage, which I will show you here just so you can see how this goes. In getting this set up, it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. So we have two that we've set up already in our sample data. We have this profitability, and we also have the sales order margin analysis. So to get this to run through, if you will manually wanted to do this, again, we can set this to be scheduled, do this at night while everybody's sleeping good and resting up. The system will do this for us. But to manually do it, we would just select this, and then we would come down here and we would execute next step, and it would do its calculations and run through all that. Takes just a handful of minutes. That's also depending on the amount of data that we're going to detect or calculate through. So you have to take that into some consideration here. But it doesn't take that long to get through a decent amount of data, and it does through its calculations. And what this is doing is it's going through the set of data that you've set to it from a time frame standpoint, a couple months, and then whatever rows and how much data that is to do. And it's going through and it's looking at the data that you have, and it's assessing these are the common grounds of what we normally see here and what you're using it for and what those numbers are. And then it's detecting, okay, these are on the upside scale of things to a certain degree that we need to warn, or these are on the low sides and we need to warn. It's using the machine learning AI aspect of Acumatica to go through these calculations and to see your trends, see what you normally do for that time frame and that data set, and then point out what it thinks is something that you need to look at. So we've got all that done. We went through that. So let's go back to the sales profitability analysis here. And if we go all the way to the right, now we have a few extra columns that after we've done our anomaly detection. As you can see, we've got anomaly severity. It gives you an expected value. And since we did margin percentage here, it's going to give you what it thinks, again, based off of what your trends were, what you normally have been doing. And then we've got a comment here section where you can put a comment. If you say, hey, I need Tom to look at this, that's the one that should really assess this order. Maybe this is something we're giving a great deal on, and that is abnormal. I know the system picked up on it, but it's really okay. And then we've got a review checkbox here. Now, if you looked at this and you go, yep, that's okay. I understand why it did that, or I understand why we made that order and the percentage is down, or the percentage is super high. Nobody accidentally, entered bad data. We can just click the reviewed, and then that will let the system know that, hey, I took a look at it, everything's fine, and it will clear it off the list the next time it does its evaluations. So going back to the same theme throughout Acumatica on our grids, here at the header of the column, we can click on this and we say, okay, we only want to look at the medium and significant severities here. So we can hit OK. And now we can see the things that really need our attention. And we can go through here and we can see exactly why this picked it up, what those alarming signs might be, and evaluate and keep it, fix it, whatever we need to do. With this too, we can make widgets within dashboards for this as well. So we can take this generic inquiry and then we can create a widget so that you can have this sitting in front of you as soon as you log in, whatever that case may be when you look at your dashboards, and have that alerted to you quicker from the system telling you what needs to be looked at rather than you have to go in here and look at it as well. So those dashboards can be, again, a great use in many different aspects rather than just the normal, hey, here's some data. We can configure a dashboard and a widget for things like these anomalies to alert you sooner than later that there's things to look at. So again, this is something new in 24R2 that just got rolled out. It really, again, can be used throughout every generic inquiry throughout the system. So we can really get this set up to the things that matter most to your business, where you feel there are areas that need to be looked at, whether it's in sales orders or it's AP. We could set this up for your AP PO matching to make sure that what you're getting charged from your PO standpoint matches your AP bill that you get, things of those natures. We can really utilize this anomaly detection feature throughout the system for whatever needs you need it to be. So really great stuff. Acumatica has really worked hard and a really great addition to the product here out of the box. All right. So next, I'd like to show you um, some emailing and auto emailing. Out of the box, Acumatica comes with the ability to email out reports, bills, anything you need to. With the configurations of your Outlook, um, we can configure the system up really quickly, get it going, and then be able to email things out directly. So let's just go here for a couple of examples. And we'll go into invoices. And that seems simple enough, but there it goes. It's a little deeper of what it has available. So that's why I want to go in here and show you this. So again, I'm just using the search bar up here. I know the invoice number. I can get to it quicker. And so let's click on this invoice. So, and so I've got this invoice and I want to send this out. So I'm going to print. And we've got our stock Acumatica invoice here that obviously can be configured to have your logo, all of that good stuff. Just want to point that out. So from here, we can hit send. And what this is going to do is this is going to bring up our already pre-built. Acumatica comes with many, many pre-built templates, emailing templates. And this is just the AR invoice template that we're seeing here. But again, you can see we could select a different template if we need to. And all of this is extremely configurable to what you need. So you see here, we've got the template. We can easily go through here and we can add information. We can add logos, all of that good stuff. And so I'm going to send this to myself. But as you've seen, I shouldn't have clicked that so fast. I apologize. As you've seen, the email automatically came up with a to email address based off the customer profile and what we had already set up for that customer for an email address. So once we have that in there, when we go to email, Acumatica picks that up and it automatically brings that into this template to be emailed. So let me just email this to myself real quick. As you can see, all of this is pre-formatted, but it can be editable and changed. And as you can see, we're going to attach a file. So let me hit send. Now, I've hit send and it's gone. A thing to note here in the system is we can configure things two ways. We can send emails, configure emails to be automatically sent at that button, or we can have them sent into a queue, which then we can go back and we can look, and then we can send them out all together. So now I'm going to go to the email pending processes screen. And I'm going to look for me. And I have this one here ready to send. And I can click this and process. And again, this is a manual way of doing it. Acumatica out of the box can automate this process with just a quick checkbox for my user to set emails immediately go out. But I want to show you the manual way so you could see this. So let me bring in this email real quick now that it showed up in my box. And here's the email that got sent out. As you can see, I have that invoice attached. I have all of the messaging that I saw within that template. And it's simple as that. So, let's see. As I said, we brought up a template that was already configured with that data. So I want to show you emailing templates real quick. As again, out of the box, Acumatica has, as we can see here, quite a bit of automatically created templates that we can just use it to our quick disposal, or we can go in and we can configure them that meet more of our business needs and standards. So in the AR invoice template that we have here, for example, as you can see, we can configure this header section to be, we could add CCs. Every time you send out an invoice, we could say, hey, we need Jan to have a copy of that as well, and invoicing or invoicing at nexlan.com. We can have that CC'd, and that can be saved into the template to where whoever sends out an invoice, all of this is automatically taken care of, and they don't have to worry about adding, taking out, all of that kind of stuff. Now, as you can see here in the message part, we have a design already pre-built. You can see we're using many variables, excuse me, that pull data throughout the system so that it's very fluent. It's not hard-coded and there's can be mistakes in there. This can be easily configured by users as well. If you have one guy that you want one person designated to this, they can go through there and they can fine-tune these templates very easily and add variables. Again, we can insert here and we can insert images, links, other templates, placeholders, data fields. So if we wanted to go in and pull, again, variables of data out of the system that the variables get pulled for each unique invoice or whatever that may be, you can see that this is just very user friendly again. And as we go through there, we can just click and select the areas that we need, AR ship to contact. And now I have all these fields that I can then just click on and select. It pulls it into the document where I want it, into the template where I want it, and it can be used. This doesn't take hours. It doesn't take calling NexLAN. It's just very user friendly and can be done in-house for you to utilize and make the system fit you, not the business have to adapt to the system. So again, emailing out invoices and things like that, I'm not saying flashy and get your attention and go wow, but the ability here to use these templates and configure these templates to your business, I think is a huge benefit, a huge tool that can be easily done and beneficial to you guys. All right. Got a couple things here we also wanted to get through. I need to hurry up. So let's get into business events and automation. So business events is what Acumatica uses to, we'll say, trigger other events and make things happen along the way. So Acumatica uses business events to speed up processes that are repetitively manual and make the system do it without you having to touch it. All right, so as you can see, again, we've got a handful, or 50 records or 50 business events already built into the system that we can utilize, but we can also create new ones to fit our custom workflow and our custom business flows. So I'm going to go here to one specifically and show you this. So back order created, and this is a business event that is used to when a sales order is created, and if we have it set to back order, what it's going to do is it's going to send an email out to a specific person and let them know, hey, you have a sales order, this is on back order, to let you know, and you can evaluate however your business needs to. So here in this business events page for the back order created, you can see we've got trigger conditions telling it when this happens, this is what we want to do. So up here in the header section, I guess I jumped a little too fast, I apologize, but here up in the header section, we have the type that we want. We want to trigger this by a record change, by action, and raise the event. This selection just has for each record, but there is other options there based upon different other settings that you make. And so again, down here in the trigger conditions, when these are met, that is what's going to trigger this business event. Here in the subscribers tab, this is where we're going to kind of tell it what we want it to do. And so when all of these conditions are met and this business event is triggered, then I want it to send an email notification. And so if I click in here in this email notification, we can see exactly, again, we can configure this template to say what we want it to say, depending on who it's going to and who we want it to email to. So I haven't edited much out of this other than adding my email in here. But as you can see, this one is just set up to a purchasing manager with the link, the document number, order status, all of that kind of good stuff. It's good stuff. We can also get in here and we can add reports to this attach it to this email. We can configure parameters. And then we've got the send by events here as well. So as you can see, again, very user-friendly, very easy to use and set up and configure. It might take a time or two, maybe reaching out to NexLAN to kind of get through the settings of things, but very, very quick and easy to do and assemble to meet your needs. So we have this back order created business event, okay? So let's get into an SO here. And let's see what happens and show this functionality real quick. So I'm going to go into SO000-294. Let's go this route just because there's quite a bit of stuff here. Okay, so we have the sales order that was created. We have our line item, which looks like we're already short a few items. And of course, we have the warning here that says, hey, we don't necessarily have enough to handle this right now. So we're going to split this into back order state. So through the ellipsis, we're going to go down here. We're going to place on back order. And when that happens, it should then go, business event would be triggered, and it would send an email to me to say, hey, you now have this order. Please check it out. You have it in back order status. Please take a look at this. All right. And that's what I'm waiting on. I'm sorry. So again, coming back to show this exactly how things work. I don't have this set up exactly to just automatically email me. So as you can see, this email is sitting here ready to be emailed through the system. Check here. I'm going to hit process. And we'll go through that very quick. And I very quickly have my email telling, just like we saw in the template, purchasing manager, here's a link. Check these for back order, just like that. So again, very quick. The theme here is very quick setup, very quick configuration to get this going, and being able to utilize the system to alert and get people to see things that they need to on a quicker basis to get through process and make sure things are going through efficiently. Okay. So, and business events are things that can be used throughout the system in workflows, and just very generic business situations, just like that, just changing a sales order into a back order status, things like that, or in workflow in general. We can use business events to, again, throughout the system for things that are repetitive, everyday type of manual entry, manual functions. If we have a 5-step process and steps 2, 3, and 4 are the same thing, just manually done every time, we can use business events to say, hey, when we do step 1 and we get to step 2 and we complete step 2, the system can there take over and do steps 3, 4, and so on to wherever we set it and configured it to do. So very useful tool. Again, straight out of the box functionality there. All right. So now we're going to get into another pretty big here feature that we've seen a lot of users use and extremely beneficial. AP AP bill documents. So we all get AP bills and you've got to enter them. Some have, a couple lines maybe, and some have 15, 20, 25 line items. It's a lot of manual entering here. Okay. And so Acumatica has AP document recognition where we can drag and drop PDFs into our incoming document screen, as you can see here, and it will recognize the bill and start to create the bill for us. Give me 1 second. Let me drag these APs over here. All right. So I'm going to drag this PDF over. It's going to bring it in, and we're going to click on that PDF. And within this screen, as you can see, it's bringing up the PDF on the right, and we're going to hit recognize. System's going to do its thing, and what it's doing here is it's using, machine learning, AI, to go through and strip and parse out this document and find the fields that it needs to see and find to complete this. So this is not a very huge, complex bill, but it's got a couple line items and a couple fields that we really need to verify and check here. So it's picked up the vendor. It's validated upon bringing that up that is a vendor for that company, and okayed that. It's got our branch. It's got our due date. It's got our vendor reference number. It didn't pick up anything specific on a description, and that's fine because there's probably not one in here. But as you see down at the bottom, we also picked up our line items. So in this incoming document screen here, we have a lot of functionality that's very easy to use. So the AI and the machine learning are going through this document, and it's trying to pick up the fields that it knows it needs. So we could have extremely complex documents and some that are pretty easy like this. The system is going to pick up based off of that vendor and the document that you brought in, and it's going to assess on that basis. It understands that not every document's the same, the layout's the same, the fields are not the same. So Acumatica has made it very simple to work around through this. So the vendor reference number here, we're going to click on this, and as you can see, it's highlighted it in the document what it is pointing to and what is selecting that. So we can easily see and change if we need something different. Let's see, that's not the best, but in this scenario, so if it's picking this up, and for this instance, this is correct, but say I wanted it to pick up a different field, all I would need to do is I click this, it's highlighted that, and I can just select a different field and have that point to it. And I know that's incorrect, but it's the example that we're just using here. And if that is something that needs to be changed, the machine learning access of Acumatica is not going to say, okay, that was one time and that's not, we need to set that in stone. It is going to take, if you need to make changes throughout the document of what the data that you need to pick up and the vendor reference and the due date and things like that, it is going to take 3 or 5 times of going through that document and pointing that out on average is what we're seeing. And then the AI and machine learning will go, okay, that's not an accident. That's what they want. And it will start picking that up, and then it will start making those selections as the document comes in. And again, it's basing that off of a couple combination things of the vendor and the bill that you're using. So it's not going to make this a static for everything that you bring in selection. It realizes and picks up on the document type and the vendor and matches those together, and then it's storing these selections that you're making to keep it that way. So the tool does very well about picking up the things that it needs to, and it really does a very good job of that. But there are some things that you might not want it to pick up totally for what it's doing. Let's let this back. So here is an instance that I do kind of see sometimes already, is this total field right here. As you can see, this amount is getting pulled in, but there might be times that I've also seen two different total lines here, and we want to select the second one. The AI is doing a very good job to pick up that total, but we might want to move it to that next line. And so again, just a couple of times of programming and affirming that to the AI and machine learning side of this, and it will start picking up if we wanted to move that to there. Um, Again, down here on our grid with our line items that we have, you can see that as I select a field, it's highlighting and showing me what it is. But we can also, in this scenario, we can link these to our PO. And so when we create that bill, it'll have that link and connection for further down the chain here, and have all of that set up and connecting and ready to validate. So if I hit save and continue here, it will take this information and go, okay, this is what we want. And it's going to then take all of this into the AP bill screen and populate everything for you to double verify and validate and save and create a bill. So all we did was drag and drop a PDF. We monitored a couple cells to make sure everything looked good. And then we said, yep, go ahead, bring it over. And now we've got this bill in here. Again, 10, 15, 20 plus line items. This is hugely beneficial and time consuming for time after time of having to do that. It's a very, very good feature that we're seeing a lot of people pick up and gain traction on now that it's been out in the last 2 releases. So huge ground has been made here, and extremely beneficial to all users. And again, then we can save and our bill's created, and we can go down the line as we need to, like normal. So one last thing that I'd like to show you, I know we're running out of time here, and I'm going to show this extremely quick, is the mobility side of Acumatica. And so we not only have that used from a desktop like we're all sitting at, but we also have access from our mobile devices. And so right here, I have my phone, the Acumatica app brought up, and I can scroll through and see a various amounts of things right off the top. And so we have a recently visited where I can select the sales order and drill down into it and see things. And again, this is an Acumatica app. So what I always try to tell people is you're not going to run everything a day-to-day business-wise out of this application, out of this app. But you're going to be able to quick find information, make approvals. You can have the app alert you if you are on an approval level and need to be approved. You can get an alert, hey, there's a bill that came in, it needs to be approved. It'll alert you, and you can go quickly in here and you can approve that. But again, we can quickly look through a sales order. We can see some vital information here real quick. We can look at there's shipping. Down at the bottom, we can see this information, all very well. Back out of here. Again, that's stuff that we've recently looked at. The top here, we have add KPIs. So if there's things that we know again, like our dashboards, we frequently visit and we want to see, I can scroll through here real quick. And I can look at, let's just do overdue cases. I'm going to highlight that one. I'm going to AR past due. I'm going to select that as well. Sales revenue. So there's 3 real quick. I've starred. I'm going to go back, give it a sec. And now it gives me these KPIs to quickly look at. I can see I don't have any overdue cases. That's great. AR past due, I get a number at that, and then I can click on that as well, and it dives me into further information as we go. So now I can see some, our AR past due real quick at a glance. So we have that capability in Acumatica for the app, and we also, I'm going to show you here what this looks like when we're on like a tablet. So here's the sales order screen from a tablet point of view. Acumatica is extremely smart and understands that when you log in, it picks up where you're logging in from. So it can say, hey, okay, we're on a tablet. We need the screen to be adjusted to keep the formatting of the structure and show it in this sense. Now, again, you can see down here, we're going to have to scroll a little bit more on the grid, but we still have that layout that we're used to, that users are comfortable with. It holds all of those personalizations that we might have done from our desktop, and we can go about pretty good on a tablet. I mean, that's not changing much from what we see on a desktop's application. And again, our mobile app gives us quick access to vital information and gets us through things that we need to do, approvals and things like that, very quickly on the fly. You can use the mobile app to scan receipts, things of that nature. You can do that. It'll automatically put that into an expense form. All of that kind of stuff is really, really great in that app setting. So, all right. Well, I see it's a little over time. We just had a lot of good stuff to get through here. Let's look in the chat, see if we have any questions. I don't see any in here. If Adam could tell me if he's got any questions or anything, we can get those answered. I don't see any, so hopefully we showed you guys some really good stuff that really grabs your attention. For any questions about any of this or anything Acumatica related, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You see my email address, and contact information here on the screen. You can contact me at tony@nexlan.com or acumatica@nexlan.com as well. And we'd be happy to have any discussion and get you any information regarding Acumatica that we can. So thank you very much for coming out and watching our webinar today. Filled with a lot of great Acumatica features. This new technology that Acumatica has is really, really beneficial to businesses from top to bottom. So thank you very much for all your time. I hope to hear and have further discussions from you guys soon. And thank you very much. Have a great day.